Alright, probably another short episode. You know, I'm thinking of going earlier, start going back to earlier episode. The only reason I'm doing it at 10 o'clock to begin with is because so Adam and them can be on it. They're not going to be on it. It's the point of doing it later.
Yeah.
I bet we're going to 9 o'clock, starting to do it at 9 o'clock now, starting Saturday.
Yeah. But we started.
Alright. Oh. But, hey guys! And gals! It's just two of us again, because, well, no one else showed up.
Yeah. We're an hour late because I finally had to put together that camp video I was videotaping.
Oh, yeah. Ooh. Hey, that's a good first topic. Let's talk about your camp video.
Talk about it. Well, all I can say is that the household had a lot less complaints about it this year. There were only 2 areas that would need difficult reworking. In the sense that it's complex.
Complex?
Yeah, there was one that didn't have enough stuff, and then there was one where I had to cut stuff out. Otherwise, a lot of the stuff is just, oh, put music here, or something like that.
Let's try this.
Yeah, I see your messages, so the chat actually works.
Awesome. So how long is your video?
It's about an hour and 15 minutes. Had to go through like at least 10 hours of video or so. Putting it all together. Maybe 5 hours. Other than that, I don't really got much for it to say about it.
So how long have you been doing camp videos?
This is my 2nd year doing it.
Really? I thought you did before. Only second year?
I mean, I've been helping my ma out at that camp for like the past almost 10 years, but I didn't actually start doing the video until last year, which was also the first time I got paid for my work.
Ah.
All I remember is that I was just a miscellaneous helper before that, and I was always unpaid. Yet somehow, there was one other kid I knew in the same place who did the little kids camp. He was helping his mom run it. From what I remember, he wasn't doing a whole lot of anything. Like, he was mostly just sitting around, maybe directing the kids where to go on occasion, but he got paid for it.
You're like, give me money.
No, I wasn't. In fact, my mom was actually praising me for not getting paid. Because my role wasn't very substantial anyway. Like, literally all I was doing, all I would be doing was help, like, my mom would always runs an event called the Amazing Race across the entire property. Pretty much all I would be doing would be handling one of the challenges, as well as setting up other challenges on other days of the week.
Alright. Yeah, I remember I used to be a camp counselor. When I went to my church camp, I took I was the photographer for it, so I took lots of pictures. And they're probably somewhere I don't know where they all went to. So I got the CDs for them and the film and the old film things. So they're somewhere around. I need to find out what happened to them. They all vanished. Wouldn't mind uploading them to Facebook, whatever, or Twitter.
I have to see then.
Yeah, my nickname back in the day was the stealth photographer. So I used to take awesome pictures without people noticing. I was like so fast with my camera.
And why'd you stop doing that though?
Well, I started getting in front of the camera instead of behind the camera for one. And two, I haven't really gone anywhere, done anything to take pictures of. I stopped going to that church. And I got in front of the camera. The reason I got behind the camera to begin with is I was camera shy. When I started my YouTube career, I stopped being camera shy. Plus, I don't really have a camera anymore. It's got my phone camera.
Yeah, because I mean, if you were good at it, you probably could have looked into doing some photography stuff.
True.
Ugh.
Alright. Well, yesterday, I was talking about the main subject. There's not much to talk about really.
Yeah.
Voice actors.
Yeah, voice actors.
We were talking about that. We were in Snick's Kate's day stream yesterday, and some about voice actors.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, you can continue actually.
And that'd be a good topic. That guy was mean about it, but I figured, I think some people say voice actors have more brains than regular actors. Like they can do all different kinds of voices.
When it comes to doing, if you want to be a professional voice actor, you do legit have to have a lot of talent because you need to be able to do a whole bunch of voices.
And especially ones that sound completely different from each other. Like some voice actors, you can read them. You can realize there's the same voice, like different cartoons. Like, oh, that
yeah, the thing is, there are some notable voice actors that have a very distinct voice. Like, I would say, some voice actors from when I was a kid that I believe have a very distinct voice would have to be Elizabeth Daily, who played Tommy on Rugrats, Buttercup on Powerpuff Girls. Let's see. I would also say, let's see. A lot of the Rugrats voice actors have distinct voices. Like, the actor that played Phil and Lil has a very distinct voice. The actor that played Chucky has a very distinct voice.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to think, one voice actor that does have a pretty wide range of voices is Phil Lamar. Like, he has done all kinds of voices. He's voiced... Let's see, he voiced Static and the Green Lantern in the DC animated universe. But, like, Static is like a teenage kid, and then Green Lantern's like this hardened war veteran with, like, this deep, gruff voice. Maybe not so much a gruff voice, but it's a bit deep. And then he's also the voice of Samurai Jack, who has a bit of a Japanese accent.
Oh.
So, trying to think of who else has like a million different voices. Troy Baker.
Here.
Oh, Sparrow's here? Apparently, for some reason, it and the previous stream started like an hour and a half into it, the rest of it missing. I think there's glitches on Twitch. No, on YouTube than there is Twitch. I'm not entirely sure. Because I know that when the last shitty RPG stream MarioTube did, the YouTube version was missing some parts of it, whereas the Twitch version, I believe, had a lot more of it. And yeah, Pokesaurus, you said you figured out how to use it. So, I think another guy who has a lot of distinct voices is Troy Baker. He's mainly done a lot of voices in games, especially recently. Like, trying to think, he voiced Booker in BioShock Infinite, Joel in The Last of Us. Trying to think of who else he did recently. He also voiced Sam, Nathan Drake's brother, in Uncharted 4. And he did an almost perfect Mark Hamill impersonation when voicing the Joker in Batman Arkham Origins and a few other things. In fact, speaking of Mark Hamill, he actually is a little... Then again, Mark Hamill seems to have two voices. There's Mark Hamill... Well, actually, no. He has three voices. There's Mark Hamill being Mark Hamill, where he basically talks his natural voice playing Luke Skywalker. Then he has a deep, gruff voice that he used for Firelord Ozai on Avatar and Master Ericus in KH Birth by Sleep. And then he has his Joker voice. That's self-explanatory.
Yeah. Yep. You know what? I think Hauser was right. We should start having a list of topics so we can move on to the next one. But it's just one.
Yeah.
It would help if we had more people talking too.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I can talk somewhat about voice actors in games. Like I did mention yesterday that for some reason... Oh, yeah. I did mention briefly yesterday that for some reason the voice actors in Resident Evil games are always changing.
True. Also, let's restart that. Yeah, I think I brought this up earlier before, but the guy who plays Hajime in the Danganronpa 2 thing also was one of the Power Rangers in the second season.
What's the actor's name?
Johnny Youngball.
Yeah, he does a lot of English dubbing work for anime and Japanese games. He also voiced the main character in Persona 4.
Ah. Yeah, he's been around since like the 90s at least.
Yeah, but he does a lot of dubbing work for anime. So... But what I was getting at with the Resident Evil games was that their voice actors always change, seemingly for not much reason. In fact, because of that, there's some characters that don't really have an actor associated with them. Like, for instance, Jill Valentine, she does not have a single... I don't think... Her actors changed so many times in between games that I don't think... there's one single actor closely associated with her voice. With Chris, he was changing voices a lot until one voice stuck, which was Roger Craig Smith. But then, very slowly, Roger Craig Smith stopped voicing him. Like in Resident Evil Vendetta and Resident Evil 7, he was voiced by someone else, but then it's kind of strange, because he came back from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which came out after both games. Well, actually, both. Vendetta wasn't a game; it was a movie. But after both of them, Roger Craig Smith returned in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Maybe because he was based on his Resident Evil 5 appearance, but. Then, the funny thing is, Leon changed voice actors at least 3 times. I mean, he had a one-off voice in Operation Raccoon City, and I think he also is getting a new voice in the Resident Evil 2 remake, because they obviously need someone younger. But the funny thing is, the 3 main voice actors he had, even though they're all different, they all have very similar sounding names. In the first game, he was voiced by a guy called Paul Haddad. And then from Resident Evil 4 all the way up to the Darkside Chronicles, he was voiced by a guy called Paul Mercier, who had the same first name. And then starting with Resident Evil Damnation, which was a movie, he's been voiced by Matthew Mercer, who has a similar sounding last name. And then we also have Claire. Claire was the only character that kept one single voice actor for the longest time. Her original voice actor was Allison Court, who you might know as the voice of Jubilee on the X-Men cartoon.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, so she did that voice, and she voiced Claire all the way from Resident Evil 2 to Operation Raccoon City. And then when she returned in Revelations 2, they replaced her with the actor that played Lightning in Final Fantasy XIII. And the unfortunate thing is, Allison Court was all for reprising the role, but Capcom never bothered asking her, which was a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it's nice when you can get if they're still alive, you can get the original voice actors. Like how you mentioned in the KH podcast, how they got the original Alice to control her role in KH.
I think, yeah, the original Alice, yeah, I think she did reprise her role in KH1. I think she also reprised her role as Wendy.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, she was going to reprise her role as as the adult Wendy in Peter Pan Returned to Neverland, but then she didn't.
Oh.
Not exactly sure why. And then then she ended up retiring from acting right after that, but then she briefly came out of retirement to do Kyrie's grandma in Birth by Sleep.
It was cool, even though she was probably old, but by KH rhymes, she could still sound like a little girl, like a girl voice.
Yeah.
That's the thing about voice act. Like, so I think you can do. I know you can do a few voices, like your drunk Obi-Wan voice.
Yes, I certainly try to be very civilized.
And if you, I'm not that good. I'm not that good.
I could also. I could also do Patrick, kind of.
Ooh, let's see it.
I'm trying to think of a Patrick line. Hi there, SpongeBob. My name's Patback. That's the first one that came to mind. Let me see if I can do. Let's see. There was when they had their fight when Squidward was trying to turn them against each other. You're a turkey. What's that? That's what you are. Tubby. Nobody calls me Tubby.
Let's see. I did a few voices in my Phoenix Wright series.
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Where's the leak, ma'am? And then I need to do the Ugly Barnacle story. Let me tell you a story that'll cheer you up. It's called The Ugly Barnacle. Once there was an ugly barnacle. He was so ugly that everyone died. The end. Alright, you can continue.
What else was there?
Of course, I've tried to imitate Shrek, but I'm not entirely sure. But I am not perfect at it.
You're not?
Yeah, I am not perfect at it. Like, pretty much the only line I'm kind of good at is the line he yells right before the "What are you doing in my swamp?" line.
Let's hear it.
I need to look it up just so I can get the words right. Yeah, it is not going to be all that good, but I can try.
It'll be something to do.
Aaron, say what is the best SpongeBob impersonator you've seen?
Aaron, say what? Who's Aaron's? Oh, also another good voice actor, I guess, is that I was talking about yesterday too. Is the guy who does the Timmy's Fairy.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of shows too, and voice acting.
I'm just trying to frickin' find it. It probably doesn't help. I have to search for it on the phone where I can't click F3. Jesus, hell, come on. 'Cause I know it's in here. Jesus Christ.
I think what happened, we were just trying to figure out what to say. It's like, this is harder too. Like, you in chat should know this is harder with just two people.
Yeah, but we're doing best we can given the circumstances. Jesus Christ, oh my God. Let me guess, either they put it at the bottom. Alright, I finally found it. Alright, let me try to do this. Ready?
Alright.
I live in a swamp. I put up signs. I'm a terrifying ogre. What do I have to do to get a little privacy? Now, of course, there's also the scene on the bridge.
Wait a minute.
But I can't do that, no.
Didn't you do a Squidward voice when you sang that Christmas song?
I think I tried, but it probably sucked. I mean, I've also done a bad SpongeBob impersonation, namely for the Squidward is my best friend in the world song.
Let's hear it.
Oh, God. Squidward is my best friend in the world. Squidward is my best friend in the sea. Fatality freaking launches the freaking violin thing right into freaking Squidward's head painting. Squidward likes Patrick more than SpongeBob. And Patrick is a dirty, stinky, rotten friend stealer! I can fix this. And by the way, we're dropping frames now.
Oh, great.
Possibly because of my sister, because she's home.
Yes. I should start hosting. I should start hosting myself next time. But yeah, I'm Saturday. I'm gonna host myself.
Okay.
Well,
Are you gonna stream after this?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Maybe.
I mean, now it looks up. No, never mind. Not okay no more.
Well, I don't know what to say.
I mean, what can I say? I mean, well, I know.
Right, you have a list of stuff to talk about. Your different subject. And so,
I mean, even then, what good is it if we don't have more than 2 people? Because, I mean, we're not incredibly talented at this.
Yeah. Well, all right. I guess that's it for today. Wish it was longer, but what can we do?
Man, I mean, we might have to retread some topics now because I feel like we're running out of original.
Yeah, nothing's. Oh, there's something I can talk about. Crime. New subject, crime.
The organ is crime.
Anyways, a Rite Aid in my neighborhood, about a block from where I live, about a mile from a few blocks from where I live, has been robbed twice in the last month.
Oh, you're talking about crime?
Yeah.
Oh. See, not a whole lot of crime happens where I'm at.
Usually it's happening where I'm not either, but recently it's been like...
I mean, well, I know that there is a bit more crime up near where my school is. In fact, the retro game store. I mean, well, we're still dropping frames, so I don't know what I could do about that, other than maybe lower the bit rate. I mean, it's already kind of low.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll answer Sora's question in a minute. So
all right, I lowered the bit rate. It's... never mind. Fucking hell.
And yes, Pokesaurus, I do too. The same reason anybody was working in the military to serve their country. If they want to serve their country, then let them. They're braver than I am, probably. Yes, I agree, Sparrow. And we talked about. I think we talked about this subject. We talked about that subject in a different podcast. I can't remember what it is. And
yeah.
I'm surprised.
I mean, I'm surprised our stream's not disjointed. At this point,
what was that podcast episode? I looked this up now. I think it was in season 4, maybe 5. I mean 5. See, hold on. Talk about crime or whatever, or the military.
Me?
Yeah, I looked something up real fast.
Meanwhile, I don't really know much about the military.
You think we'll talk about in chat? Do you think anyone should be able to serve in the military?
Yeah, I don't know anybody that was in the military except my dad, but that was a long time ago.
Reading chat?
Well, they're just simply saying that anyone should if they meet the requirements.
Yeah. I agree with that. There shouldn't be any discrimination, I think. Let's see, where is playlist? Okay, what about crime in your area?
Crime? Well, like I said, where I live, there's not a whole lot of crime where I'm at. Though, up near my school, there was a bit more crime. Like, I remember, specifically, there was this kid on a bike who was going around harassing people to give him money. And he even came up to me once. But I finally managed to talk him down. Thank God there were eyewitnesses, because it got to the point where I was afraid something was going to happen.
Like what?
Like, I was legit... even though, like, I was worried he was going to freaking try to whack me with something. And eventually he was caught and banned from the campus.
I think I remember this story before. I think I remember the story.
Yeah, I did tell it, but because it happened in senior year, it was pretty recent. It was maybe about a year ago. Less than a year ago. I should have kicked his butt, but then I was worried that I would have been the one getting banned from campus and I wouldn't be a graduate. But the whole thing is, a retro game store that's located close to my school got robbed twice within a short span of time. In fact, one night I tried to go to the store, like Boxer, one of the guys that was rooming with me in second semester of sophomore year, he decided to drive me there. Just because he wanted to be good, just because he wanted to be good-natured or something. And when we drove up to it, the store was closed early because it was just robbed that day. So unfortunately, I didn't get to go in that day.
There it was. I found it. It was #military problems. Season 5, episode 32.
Okay. Oh. Oops.
Pokesora says you should kick his butt.
Well, that's exactly why I responded to that.
Yeah, I think the biggest crime to let that happen was recently. I feel like 10 years ago, there was like a sniper on somebody was sniping somebody on a roof near where I work.
Oh, really?
Let's see, and then not really a crime. Yeah, Vandalia is usually a crime-free area. except for recently.
Oh.
Hmm. Voice acting. I guess we can retread some subjects.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I'm just hoping that our podcast isn't disjointed.
Yeah. Well, here's a subject. Starting podcast earlier. We talked about this before the podcast started. I'm thinking I want to start the podcast an hour earlier than we usually do because you aren't really the only reason I do it 10 o'clock my time, and I mean 6 times, so it's so MarioTube can join it. And if he's not gonna be in anymore, there's not really a point of being this late. Something going to 9 o'clock Eastern time. And let the chips fall where they may. I used to do it at 8 o'clock. I used to do it at 8 o'clock before, but I try doing it at 9 o'clock our time.
You know what? Now you made me curious. I need to go back to earlier podcast episodes and find out if I mentioned at any point that I was watching Walking Dead, because fuck that shit today. You would never be seeing me do that. So I freaking hate that show now.
Like, no, mother, that's just the Northern Lights.
I hate this channel.
But the time we talked about that, I think it was the season began this season, or maybe. Bye, Pokesaurus. Probably don't miss much.
Alright. Bye-bye.
Alright, dreams and goals. I think they talk about season 5, maybe season 6, I forget. But have your dreams or goals changed from you started college to now?
I guess not. Like, in all honesty, like, I did have an ultimate goal of getting a serialized story made, but at the same time, at the moment, I think unless I find, like, writing partners or people who can help me out, I think that goal is impossible to achieve. So
Yeah,
at the moment, really all I'm trying to do is see what kind of full-time work I could do.
Yeah, I was wanting to write a book too, but I'm bad at that too. Maybe we could combine our books together. Throw ideas together, make one awesome book.
Oh, okay.
You could have your, what was it, like, was it mutants or something, or monsters, or?
Kind of.
Yeah. God. Alright, this is it. Let's just end this.
Yeah.
Chat's not. Pokesaurus is gone. Sparrow's been around for a while. And alright, well, join us Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
We're gonna go early. We're gonna go early to because I don't know, because we can, and just hopefully people talk about something. We'll try to. Oh, Sparrow's been writing books too. Yeah, writing books hard.
Yeah,
Anyways,
like, I'm confident I can do it on my own. The only thing is I want to make sure it's good. And I
yeah.
wouldn't really say it's a book. Like, honestly, like, it could easily just be a series of short stories that form a narrative.
Yeah, that's a good topic for next week. Join us Saturday for our topic about books, our favorite authors, and what our dreams are for being one. See you then. Hopefully, we'll have more people there. But in the meantime, never stop learning and enjoy the randomness.